Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's time for Real Talk with Real Pros. I'm your host, Tom Houghton, coming to you live across the internet, around the world. Hello, Instagram. Creekstone Fine Homes is here. Thanks for tuning in so much. We're going to be joined today from someone from Divino Homes. He'll be on in just a second, Joshua Correa. He will be here, and I'm so excited to chat with him about what's happening in Dallas, Texas. So if you're just tuning in, put down those power tools. We're going to have a real talk coming to you live. So thanks so much for tuning in. Let me just give out some waves real quick. Miami Roofers here. Thanks for tuning in. And I think our guest of today is here. So if I can get Joshua on the line real quick. So stand by. Let me know if you're just joining, where you're joining from. Go ahead. Hey, there you go. Hey, Joshua.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good. I'm doing well myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love that we've got mutual shared backgrounds here, going with the blinds look behind us, keeping it real. That's good.
That's it.
Yes, real talk with real pros. If you're just tuning in, let me know where you're watching from in the comment box, or if you've got a question for Joshua, let us know. Joshua's with Divino Homes. You're based in Dallas, Texas. That's right?
Correct. Yeah, we're
awesome.
Based here in Dallas, Texas, and we're excited to be in such a great part of the country right now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And I'm assuming, obviously, the weather's great because it's summertime.
It's 100 degrees, so
maybe a little too great.
It's a little bit too great, very hot, so it's just having to deal with. But it doesn't change. It's the same thing every year.
Yeah. So you're used to it by now?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you give everybody just a background on Divino Homes?
Well, it all started in 2004. We have a different company called Power Construction Group. We established it in 2004, but 4 years ago, we had such a demand for building. We were building residential homes under Power Construction. I ended up opening up a division called Divino Homes, which is what we're talking about now. We're a spec home builder, high-end custom homes. We build specs for the most part. 80% of our work that's what it is. We still run both construction companies, but we started getting into the land development. We started getting into spec homes. We just started buying lots and creating more housing where there was a need for in the inner lots of the city of Dallas.
Fantastic. Thanks for giving out that background. Again, if you're just joining us, we're having Real Talk with Real Pros with Joshua. It's the only show that I know of that happens live on Instagram. And of course, with that being said, I got to give it a little disclaimer. If we have any internet issues, we'll make sure we catch back up together at a time when we can, make sure we're all clear in terms of scheduling. But thank you so much for tuning in. And if you got a question for Joshua, let us know. But I'll follow up my first question about Divino Homes with this. Tell me, how many projects do you got going on right now?
Right now, we currently have 4 spec homes going on. We're wrapping up one that we should close on, I think, tomorrow. Hopefully everything goes well. We close on that one tomorrow. We have some units in the ground. We plan on breaking ground on 3 more units come next month. It all depends on the city of Dallas. The paperwork has slowed down. A lot of the applications, a lot of the submittals have slowed down. I mean, we're dealing with this COVID, so we're adjusting to all that. But we have 7 projects, and we're getting ready to break ground some more. Okay.
That's exciting. It sounds like you got quite a pipeline there.
We do. We're blessed out. We got a big development coming out in East Dallas also that we're taking 9 lots, and we're going to create 28 townhomes. So I'm hoping that, I said this a year ago, I wanted to break ground a year ago. Here it is now a year later, and I'm 12 months closer to breaking ground. So we should be breaking ground pretty soon, and that'll keep us busy for about a year.
That's awesome. Yeah, everyone's timetables had to get shifted just a little bit, probably with everything going on with this pandemic.
They did, and we're adjusting. I mean, the hardest thing about this pandemic is it just added more layers. We already had a lot of stuff, a lot of pressure on our shoulders. We already had a lot of responsibilities, but this pandemic has allowed us. I mean, it has just added layers after layers. We're having to keep our job sites under 10 people. We're having to make sure they're wearing face masks. We're having to put a lot more signage. We're having to check temperatures, and we're just trying to comply. We don't want to be that builder that didn't comply, and we're making the news at night.
Yeah, no, yeah, you definitely want there's no such thing as bad publicity except for when it comes to this, it seems like.
It seems that way. I mean, we see it when the news comes out and we see the restaurants that they're full, or the bars, and we're seeing a big uptick on the cases, and it's because of the parades or because they're blaming it on the bars or restaurants, whatever it is to blame. I'm not here to judge or any of that, other than I want to make sure whatever I'm responsible for, I'm complying by the guidelines and we're doing the right thing.
Yeah. We have a saying at Buildertrend: be exceptional at what you can control, you know.
Exactly.
So it's important that you can only control so much in this world. So if you can excel at what you're good at in that area, that's fantastic.
Correct.
Yeah. So you mentioned a new development area. Is that, I've got a picture here I'll try to pull up real fast. Is that the Kessler Park area?
No, Kessler Park, I'm excited about that project. I'm really, really excited about that home. It's a little bit over 4,000 square feet. It's a very true modern type of build. It's in a gated community where we have the last lot in that gated area, and we're going to be building this home right here. I'm just excited about this project. I can't wait to get going on it. The city finally gave us permits a month ago, so we're going to be working around some trees, some very mature pecan trees, and I'm going to be posting some video on this house on the inside. I'm just super excited. It almost makes me want to move to this home just because of the layout, how much time we spent on trying to work around these 3 big trees. So I'm super excited about this job. And Kessler Park it's the good thing. It's only 10 minutes away from our office, 10 minutes away from where I live. So it'll be one of those jobs that I'll be there consistently.
Yeah, it looks like a really contemporary design.
It is. And that picture that you're seeing right now, that's the backyard. So
wow.
when people walk out, that's kind of they'll be overlooking that pool. That pool will have a negative edge, and that lot is at an angle. It's kind of kind of on a small little hill. And when you're walking inside the home, going from, let's say, the family room to the bedrooms, you'll be walking down kind of a glass hallway where you'll be able to appreciate the trees outside on both sides. So I'm just excited about this job.
Yeah,
it's been in the making for about 16 months, and obviously I'm sure a lot of the people that are listening and seeing us, they understand that every day it costs money. So
sure.
I'm finally at a point where we're ready to break ground, and if it doesn't sell, then I got to move in.
But you won't mind that, right?
I won't mind that at all. I know it'll be built well. Let me just say that. I'll be happy living there.
That's right. That's fantastic. How do you give me some tidbits on how you stay passionate about the projects you're working on? Obviously, working on so many different projects. Obviously, I love hearing your passion about that house that you'd consider moving in. Is that most of your houses, or how does that work for your process? That
we build it to those standards. I think it's kind of I think we all try to do, as builders, we all try to do the right thing, but sometimes we mix up our profits. We mix a lot of our things that, man, if I could save $5,000 here or $7,000, I'm gonna cut corners. We have stayed away from that thing of cutting corners. For me, I can go and save $18,000 per house right now if I wanted to. I would cut out a lot of engineering, a lot of soil testing. I would do what maybe other people are doing, but I choose not to. I want to be able to sleep good at night. I want to make sure that there's an Energy Star program that, yes, the city of Dallas will allow us to meet a certain guideline, but we want to exceed that guideline on every single project that we do. And it's okay. It's okay that my third-party inspectors give me red tags. I welcome them. I'm okay with the city inspector giving me red tag. That means they're catching something wrong. And yes, I want to keep the process moving, but I want to make sure that when we walk away from that project, it's a well-built home for a family that's going to live there. I mean, I haven't had a chance to build my home yet. I mean, that's going to happen pretty soon. But I remember when we moved into our home, the builder never came back. Mm-hmm. In a good way. It was a well-built home.
Yeah.
And that was back in 2003, and here it is almost 17 years later, and I have nothing to complain about that home other than we've done upgrades, we've remodeled it and all that stuff. But it was a well-built home. So I want that to be where people look back and look at, hey, Divino Homes or Power Construction, when we were doing all that stuff, they were well-built homes for families.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So tell me, through this pandemic, we've kind of talked about how you've had to keep less people on the job site. What's that look like? Is that just the only place it's been affected? Has it been affecting your customers? You know, tell me about that process.
It's affecting everyone. It used to be that we used to meet with the clients. We kind of handshake them. We would handshake. We would almost kind of give half hugs. We built a lot of relationships. A lot of the stuff, since we built spec homes, we don't really meet the client to the very end or kind of 3/4 of the way when they buy the home as it's almost finished. But we used to have a lot of face-to-face. They used to come to the office. They used to make their selections here. And now all that's kind of just gone away. But it's created an opportunity. I mean, now with Buildertrend, we've had to engage it a lot more. I've had to tell them, hey, you got to use that portal. You want to see the daily logs, check this out. Zoom meetings, group messaging, FaceTime. We're just using technology a lot more. And I'm very thankful because when I got Buildertrend probably 3.5 years ago, I think we were just, before the pandemic, we've been engaging Buildertrend probably, I want to say 30% of it. I really should be engaging it 80 to 100% of it. And we were just engaging the daily logs, we were engaging the to-dos, but now, all of a sudden now, since we have time, we've been engaging the more of the schedule, more of the documents, more of the pictures, more of the owner logging in and making sure to check their jobs because we can't meet them anymore. We're engaging maybe, we've had another 10 or 15% that we're engaging. And it has nothing to do with Buildertrend. It has something to do with more of us engaging because the software is there. I mean, the software is going to do it. And we've noticed that the more we engage it, it just makes it easier for us. We're able to go back and find that thread and it keeps everything organized.
Fantastic. Tell me, you mentioned a lot of the features that you're using with Buildertrend. Tell me one of the ones that I think you, like, just pinpoint one that either you love the most or it's been the most helpful through this process.
You know, daily logs have really been what we use a lot. From day one, it's been daily logs that the ease of having, I depend on my staff. I have a gentleman, Jonathan Correa. He's my head of my construction. He's my brother. I have my son that's a superintendent. I have 2 other guys that are superintendents. I have a young lady here at the office. But the minute you take pictures, the minute you start adding data to that daily log, everybody sees it. I don't have to call. I don't have to look at the cameras that we're looking at out at the job sites. I know something is happening. And it's helped out a lot. We had an issue on one of our projects that one of our tradespeople didn't do the right process. And we had a problem. I'm okay with saying we had a problem in one of our jobs, but because of the pictures that we took, because of all the data that we had, we were able to screen back, go back, and it saved us a lot of money where we didn't have to just go start punching holes in the wall. We understood that there was plumbing right here, there was electrical at this point, due to all the pictures that we took and due to the data. So it saved us. Yes, it cost us money. Something went wrong, but it saved us a lot of time and effort in trying to guess at it stuff.
Yeah. I just want to take a quick break, make sure that you're still with me. I think I just saw something on my side that might have been reconnecting. So can you still see me all right, Joshua?
I see you.
Okay, cool. If you're just joining in, again, thanks so much for tuning in. We've got Real Talk with Real Pros here with Joshua Correa from Divino Homes. If you got a question for Joshua, hit us up in the comments, let us know. But we're just having a chat about what's happening in his neck of the woods in Dallas, Texas. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, hanging with us. If we're, again, having technical difficulties while we go live across the internet, which is fantastic. Gotta love the joys of live production, you know. It's always it's always a roller coaster. So tell me a little bit about maybe some trends that you're seeing in your area. I saw that contemporary design that you used in Kessler Park. Is that something you guys are leaning more towards?
Well, when we started out, we were building a lot of Mediterranean, more Spanish, more Tuscan. This modern trend started coming in several years back and started getting very strong on the residential side, more contemporary. And as people can look at our feed, we have a modern product that's like 3,000 square feet under $600,000 per house. The trends that I'm starting to see now as people are staying home, I'm starting to get people asking about a bigger office space, making sure that they got a true data connection, not so much the Wi-Fi connection, but a true data connection. I'm starting to see that more. They're starting to pay more attention to I had a couple of clients I want to be able to isolate myself a little bit away from the family. The family can still be home, but I want to be able to have soundproof on my walls, be able to close the door, and it seems like I'm away. I'm at my office. So I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see more on our low voltage side, just cameras, more people, I guess, a sense of feeling safe at home now that they're home. But also just, it's really just been a lot more uptick on office, making sure that the office is well built and or adding it. We've gone back on 2 of our plans and added office space just for that simple fact that at least when it does hit the market in 6 months or 7 months at completion, we can offer that, especially during this COVID. I mean, I don't know how long it's going to be here. We all have our own opinions about it. So, but we have to adjust.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like you said earlier, we can't control that.
Yeah.
So we just try to do the best that we can. And the way I always look at everything, I'm just blessed to be alive. I'm blessed to be in this industry. I'm blessed to be talking to you. I'm blessed. There's a lot of blessings besides all the stuff other stuff that's going on.
Absolutely. I love that positive outlook that you have. I mean, it's so important during this time to focus on the positive stuff, focus on the wins, focus on what you can control. It sounds like you're totally doing that. And again, I think all your customers are probably benefiting from working with you and having that positivity around on the job site and through the process. I know it's difficult because I'm assuming, tell me, how long does an average build that you do? Just give me a ballpark.
Well, an average build is about 4.5 months.
Yeah.
But right now they're taking longer. Our supply chain is hurting right now. It used to be we can order cabinets and we would have them. We'll be able to pick them up or the following week or 2 weeks. Now they're not even being made. So we have a home that the client specifically specified certain type of cabinets, and they didn't want another selection. So that home sat there for 2.5 months until, I'm going to use the word, IKEA opened back up, and they wanted those IKEA cabinets. So guess what? I had to sit there, and it cost me, whatever the adjustments we had to make with the homeowner, he chose to wait. Yeah. And it cost us time, it cost us money. But yes, I think this pandemic is going to add another 6 weeks to 8 weeks to a lot of people's timeline, if not longer.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and obviously it seems like you're adjusting well. Let's talk about the schedule. I mean, I'm assuming you're using Buildertrend to do the schedule, yes. Shifting that. What's that process been like for you?
I almost want to put like a little COVID thing or come up with something with COVID. We're using that on our day. Just something that we all have to adjust. The good thing is it's not something that our industry has created. The whole world is feeling it. So our clients are understanding that. Our schedules are being moved around. They're being pushed around. Our head of construction will schedule some stuff out, and he's ready to go. He'll follow up. And next thing we know, half of the crew showed up because now they tested positive or someone thinks they tested positive. So it's those layers that were added. We already had a full plate, just like I'm sure yourself, you had a full plate already. Now we're talking this COVID, and it's not just COVID, it's all the layers of responsibility that it's added on us. So it seems like at times that you feel like you're underwater, you're trying to catch up, and we just got to adjust. And we're doing a really good job about adjusting. We may not like it, but we're happy to be employed. We're happy that we're considered essential workers here in Dallas. We're happy that through being a member of the Dallas Builders Association, they fought really hard to keep us as essential workers so we can keep feeding our families, so we can keep providing work for other people. It's kind of a domino effect. And this industry feels it really strong when if they were to really shut it down. I feel it because I've talked to some people up north where they've completely shut down construction, and they're like, we're at home, we can't go out. Austin, Texas, which is like a 3.5 hour drive, they were completely shut down. I don't understand completely what But what I do understand is the guys that I talk to, the custom home builders, there are two of them, they said we can't go to work. So for me to be able to not be able to stay home at all during all this COVID, having our staff fully employed, still pushing on our spec projects, knowing that sooner or later we're going to get out of this. We're going to see it through. As human people, we're going to see this through. We're going to come out of it. So we kept on pushing, and we kept on building. We kept trying to adjust, but it did help. It did help. Buildertrend, using it a lot more, engaging it a lot more, staying more organized. The Dallas Builder Association, they got involved. The Texas Builders, the National Association of Home Builders. It seemed like everybody just jumped into action, and we just got better at doing things now, more like through like Instagram Live, through FaceTime, through Zoom meetings, stuff that we had heard about and we would use very casually, at least on our part. We hardly ever had a Zoom meeting. It was always like, hey, just come over to the office, or hey, I'll meet you there, or hey, just FaceTime me. Now I sit here and I got a Zoom meeting after another Zoom meeting, and it seems like that's all I'm talking about is Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. But we're going to smile it away.
That's right. That's right. That's fantastic. Yeah, sometimes you need a little nudge, to get into some of the stuff that you're like, oh, I'll get to that later. I'll do that next time. And then, of course, COVID's kind of, pushing us a little bit more than I think some people want to. But I'm glad you're making the most out of it. I'm glad you're using the technology to help your business succeed. That's super important. And I love that you're looking, like, hey, we're going to get through this. You've got a game plan, sounds like, for how you're going to get out of it and keep moving forward, which is super important. So well done. Keep up the good work. One other thing I wanted to pull up really quick. I think I've got a shot of this house. I just couldn't believe it. I think you also might have just been there and posted something newer than this one that I pulled. This shot here is from Preston Hollow, 30,000 square feet.
31,000 plus square feet, yes.
Can you see that picture?
Yes, I can see that picture. It's a spec home. It's I'm looking for a buyer.
Okay. So if you're in the market, reach out to Divino. Let them know.
Yes. It's
31,000.
31,000 square feet. It's a huge home, but that's really what got us through Power Construction Group years back, was building these high-end custom homes, the 10,000, the 12,000. We didn't just show up. It took a lot of hard work, and it took to the point where we had to buy our own piece of land. We had to make our own stake, meaning we had to just build it and show what we could do. And through that process, we learned a lot. We made a lot of mistakes, but we survived those mistakes. We just kept pushing. We understood that I come from a plumbing background. My dad's a plumber here in Dallas. But I never wanted to continue being a plumber the rest of my life. I owned a plumbing company and I sold it. But that was the seed money that got me into what I always wanted to do, and it was build homes. It's very fascinating to me. I love going to work. Sometimes I don't like the paperwork. I love being out there in the field. I love talking to the guys. I love seeing the process. I like working through certain issues and knowing that we all have the same goal. It can be frustrating sometimes because we'll crash heads a little bit. Our ideas don't match up. But I always remind the group, or I always remind whoever it is that I'm having the conversation, we both want the same thing, or we all want the same thing, is how do we get to that point, and how do we get to that point professionally where we don't take it personal.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I love that you're out there achieving your dreams of building homes. That's fantastic. And that home is a dream home, that 31,000 square foot home. It's beautiful. So if you're watching this and you're not following Divino Homes, what was that?
I won't move in that one.
No, yeah, that's not for you. Still for sale. But yeah, follow Divino Homes on Instagram and check out all the amazing work that they're doing, because it is incredible. You build a beautiful product, and I love that you're so invested in it. That is fantastic.
Thank you. And I wouldn't be here. It's not just me. It's the people around me that put me where I'm at, or put us where we're at. It's the tradespeople. It's the people that we build relationships with. It's the people that work those long hours, that show up early, that, yeah, I can be wearing this nice shirt right now, but it's because of them It's because of organizing them and them having that same passion and lining up with our passion, with our core values. And sometimes, yeah, we will bump heads, but we're all going for the same goal, and we just want to build a quality product.
That's fantastic. Tell me real quick as we wrap up here about, so you're speaking about the team, which I think is fantastic. I love the buy-in there. How did you get the team to buy into it? What was that process like?
They were all passionate. My son is learning. So he's 24 years old, and he's been in the construction site since he was young. I think in this building industry or in this construction industry, it seems to be that the dads always have their sons or daughters, because even my daughter would be at the construction sites. And I can look back at pictures in the late 90s where my kids were so young and they were at construction sites. So my son came into it with this kind of the same passion, and he's learning. My brother's been involved with it, and he has the same passion about just being able to see a blank slate piece of paper and building something out of it, going to a piece of land and developing something out of it. I mean, we still get chills when we close a home or we're done with it, and we'll stand in front of it and we're like, well, there's another one, and we're happy, and we'll smile, and it's like, man, and we'll just kind of sit there and talk about some of the stuff that went bad or went wrong, and we try to learn from it and hopefully not do it again. But it's just, and then the other people that are around me, they've all been involved in construction, and they just understand that we're not trying to cut corners. It costs money not to cut corners. I mean, there's many times that the guys will say, they'll tell me, we can just adjust this way, but that's not the right thing to do, or that's not the right thing to hide. So they've understood that the last several years, that I'd rather it cost me $100 now that I don't have in the budget, that I don't even want to spend, that I might just sit back and say, man, why are we spending this $100? But if I don't spend that $100, it's going to cost me $1,000 down the line. Yeah. So it's just getting them to understand that, and also learn from some of the stuff that we may be doing over and over wrong.
Yeah. Well, Joshua, I love your perspective. I love the fact that you've been thinking about that and you're thinking for the long haul, which I think sets you apart from other builders probably in your area. You know, if you're watching this, take a cue from Joshua here, who's thinking about the long term, who's thinking about, hey, it might cost you a little bit up front. You might not have in the budget, but long term, it's going to take away that headache that could come down the line.
Right. Yeah, we've been at it since 2004, and we've had some tough years. But for the most part, yes, there's a lot of big builders, nationwide builders, and yes, they have a lot of funding. But for the most part, I'm a small business. There's a lot of small businesses, and we all want to do the right thing. It's just getting over that hump that it's going to cost us. But once you accept that, and once you take that on, that you're going to always do the right thing. Yes, I mean, I'm not there in the field every day anymore, but I'm hoping that whatever I'm transmitting from where I'm at the office, at our weekly meetings, it's causing a domino effect down the pipeline.
Awesome. Well, Joshua, thank you so much for joining me today on Real Talk with Real Pros. I really appreciate it. I know our viewers will appreciate it as well. Getting to know you virtually like this. I know I've never met you in person, but I've totally picked up that you stand for what's right. You've got a great positive attitude and outlook on things, and I know your company is going to continue to be a success because you've got such a great outlook on what's coming up ahead.
Thank you, and I'm excited to be part of Buildertrend. I get those calls from other softwares, and right away I said I'm happy with Buildertrend. Buildertrend, I love it because they're always like another app. You guys are making changes, you guys are adjusting, you guys take feedback. I love that. That means you didn't just think you're just perfect, you built one app. That means you're taking opinions and we're all changing.
Yeah. Yeah, we love feedback, the feedback that we get from our customers. So keep it up, keep giving us feedback. We love to continue to be better and to help be a partner in your business, to help your business succeed. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with us. Thank you, viewers out there, for watching. We really appreciate it, and I hope you tune in next Wednesday when we go live again. But until that time, give Divino Homes a follow. And Joshua, I hope you have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you very much.
Thanks.